And I believe we're live now, Fight and Defend.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to take a few minutes and we're just going to, oh, look at here. We got people jumping in there. Parrish Ann, Patrick Shan, thank you. And 12B Georgia, thank you for being here. It's always good to see people right off the bat. Uh, Most of this is going to be for the people who catch us on the replay, but I want to say it just the same that thank you for watching. If you're not a sub, please subscribe. And to everyone that comes into this live stream, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, and hit the bell icon, and you'll know when I'm going live through the week. My PayPal will be somewhere in the chat. Maybe, I don't know. It's up to my mods if they put it in the chat or not. So I'm not concerned with that. I do have expenses, but I'm not here for the money. The truth is all that matters on this channel. And I've got a great guy with me tonight. He's with me. We're going to stay together till we get through this crisis. And we may go on past that. But right now, we're just trying to get through all of this craziness that's going on in America and around the world. And I'll tell you, we're going to hit on a lot of topics tonight that you probably haven't thought of, or maybe you just haven't heard it. But it's going to be some good stuff tonight, so hang in there. But before I get started, I want to give some shout outs to some people. And these are great people. These are great channels like myself who just strive for the truth. They're not out here to make all the money they can make. The truth is what matters to Sam Reports. If you don't know Sam, check her out. Then there's Tactical Technician out of Arkansas. Great guy. California Critic. That's self-explanatory. He's a great guy too. Then you have C. She started popping in here, or he. I don't know if it's a male or a female. Started popping in here. And I went to their channel, and they've got some good stuff as well. There's one guy that lives not too far from me. People, if you don't know him, go check him out. He's a true patriot. His name is American Mindbender. Mike is a great guy. If you don't know him, go check out American Mindbender. Liberty Smith is a dear brother in Christ that lives in Oklahoma. American Warhorse, another dear Christian friend of mine who lives in Virginia. Florida Jim, that's self-explanatory. He's a great guy. He's a comic. He's got good information. He makes you laugh. Go check out Florida Jim. And finally, but not leastly, is Charity's Clarity. If you don't know Charity, go check her out. She's up in New York, and she's going through all of the rigmarole and the trouble of this COVID virus, which we have to remember. We're going to get on this in a minute, so I'm going to try not to get on it too quick, John. But I'm already getting on a roll when I think about Charity being up there and that the mix, you know, right in the middle of it. And good Lord, I'm not seeing any of it. So, John, I want to welcome you here tonight.
Thank you,
Come
Bobby.
on in. And, brother, whatever you got to start on, I'm going to give you the floor, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to go for as long as we have content.
Absolutely. One thing I'm going to start with real quick. Our illustrious Democrats down here in Florida released an inmate that had already had weapons charges as a felon. And within hours of being released, he murdered somebody.
Exactly.
And they just picked him up again. And it just beyond pisses me off. So some poor soul lost their soul because of politics. And now the state's attorney's office said, oh, they're going to charge them to the fullest. Here's a novel idea. Why don't we start charging the judges and the politicians that release these people to the fullest? And I bet you it stops. See, that's the problem, is you can't sue a judge. You cannot sue a judge.
Okay.
No matter what they do. So what are your options? You know? So that was an issue that happened down here in Florida, and it was Hillsborough County, which of course is a demon rat county. So maybe the people will wake up next time it comes time to vote and we'll get rid of them.
Well, this is just the first one that's came to light in the news that I've seen, to where released prisoners recommitted crimes. But
No,
I know there are. That's what I'm saying. I've done research since I talked to you earlier, and this is happening all across the country.
yeah,
They're releasing these prisoners, and it's not the low level got busted with a joint or with an ounce of pot or something like that. Non-violent crimes. They're releasing violent criminals
yep,
into our streets.
yep,
Not just criminals, but pedophiles.
yep,
We talked about that last week. They released 8 in New York who were sex offenders, and 3
yes,
of them were pedophiles.
yes, yep.
Keep it going, John. You're doing a great job.
All right, so we've got that issue, which, of course, if you look where all this is taking place, it's all in the blue states and the demon rats. That's what they want. If you vote Democrat, this is the life you're going to be living. What we're living now is what you'll be living forever. Think about that. This is the way it is. The next thing is an issue that a topic I've brought up a couple times already, and it is a big concern of mine. It pertains to the food
You froze, John.
shortage.
All right, what he said, you froze there for a minute, John. So I'm going to go ahead. What he's talking about is the food crisis.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're all right now.
Can you hear me now?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, we had storms roll through a little while ago. So,
all right, keep going.
So on the food crisis, we're gonna have a big problem with the food crisis. The food that is set aside for your restaurants, your schools and stuff, your prisons, they can't just sell it to the store because of packaging.
Yeah.
So it's getting destroyed. So there's going to be a major lapse here, because think about this. While school is in session, parents worry about feeding their kids breakfast and supper, not lunch. Kids are home now, so there's an extra meal. The whole family's home now, so that's 3 meals. So instead of buying your meals out, everybody's eating at home, which is causing more food. The supply, the demand for food from the stores is increasing, and the stores can't handle it. So they're running out. It's already happening. The longer this goes on, the less food there's going to be available, certainly in a short amount of time.
Well, especially when you have the dairy farmers dumping milk. You have the egg farmers throwing away eggs.
Yeah, and then down here we got the fruit is rotting on the vine.
Yeah, and then they're going to take it and just dig a hole and bury it all. And it's going to be the same thing with the other crops across the country. Yeah. Trump's always talking about the farmers. Well, okay, he's talking about the farmers in the Midwest and the West, these big grain producers and corn producers and people like that. He's not looking at these little states who farm chickens and harvest eggs and produce the milk that makes the cheese. He's not looking at that. And if he is, he's overlooking it, because they're dumping food.
Now, there's an end game to this, and this has been coming for a long time. They're doing this intentionally. They're going to bankrupt the farmers. The farmers already, if you look at the suicide rate of farmers in the Midwest, they've been killing themselves on a daily basis. The banks have been ordered by the government not to loan out money to the farmers. They've had 2 terrible seasons the last couple of years, so they're in debt. The banks have been told not to lend to the farmers. The farmers are slowly starting to kill themselves. This is going to finish off the farmers. If you look and see when these farms go up to auction, you look and see who's buying them. It's George Soros and the Chinese Communist Party.
Yep.
You can look it up. It's right there. George Soros.
China already owns so much of America. It's pathetic. I mean, they have the deed.
Yeah. Well, we can thank Hillary for that. But
Amen.
George Soros's game plan is to have complete control of all the food in the United States, and they are doing very well. All
Control
the
food.
yeah,
Control
all
the food. You control the masses.
absolutely.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have seen the videos and the pictures of the 1920s when the Great Depression hit and all those people standing in food lines, pitiful, broken, disheartened people with nowhere to go, nowhere to look, nowhere to hope except to go to the damn food line.
Yep.
And hold their cup out for a meager serving of rice and maybe beans or something. All right. This is totally what can happen right here today.
Listen, history repeats itself, Bobby. This is why they don't teach our kids history anymore, because history is about to repeat itself.
People think that we're a doomsday apocalypse stream, but we're not. We're not talking about the end of the world and the apocalypse. We're talking about what's happening right now today in our society in America and what it's going to look like in the near future.
Yes.
None of us know what's going to happen 30 years from now. We don't even know what's going to happen 10 years from now, but we know right now today what they're doing. And what they're doing is they are using our food stores and our food production as a weapon. Because I believe somebody said that if you don't have the vaccine, at some point, you're not going to get food.
Yeah, actually, that was something that I heard today. There is already talk with the CEOs of the larger food chains, and they're working with them to try to force them, basically, if you enter their store and you don't have a vaccination card, you are not allowed to go into the store.
You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like the beginning of the mark of the beast. Mark of the beast, the Bible says, if you don't have the mark, you'll neither be able to buy or sell. Well, if you can't buy food, guess what?
Yep.
That's the beginning, people.
And this, listen, it all, after a while, people, you see how it all comes together. It's one big circle, and it all comes back to Bill Gates and his vaccination. You know, it's all about control. Watch his videos lately. He is so smug. I tell you right now, I'd like to drop kick him right in the face. I really would. That boy's got some hell coming to him. Somebody's going to get him at some point.
At one point, well, when he stands before the white throne judgment of Christ, yeah, he's going to pay.
I think it's going to be before that. It's going to be on this earth. He's going to feel some pain.
I'm not trying to get off the topic, John, but I believe, this is my personal belief, that if you're an evil person, that before you die, I mean, if you're evil to your soul, even though you may talk good, if you're one of those who suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer before you die, then that's probably part of your sentence, is to suffer on earth and then suffer in hell later. I just don't understand how people can do the things they do that are so evil, and there's no repercussions for them. No repercussions for any of them.
Well, not yet. And you know why? Because at this point, we still allow them to get away with it. When the time comes when we don't allow them to get away with it, then hell will rain down on them. You have my word.
Amen. But while we got to stop in the comments for a second, Mariel is here. Thank you, Mariel. We were talking about you earlier. Grateful Grandma Patty, I know who you are. American Mindbender, I gave you a shout out at the beginning of the show. So glad you're here. Jeff B, Steve Bevins. You know, I wonder if you're the same Steve Bevins that I knew in high school. I knew a guy named Steve Bevins. I doubt it, but maybe. Never know. Invader Zim, great guy. They're forcing the farmers to sell their lands to the Chinese government. Yep. Amen.
I told you.
Scarecrow said city people are going to be in trouble.
Very soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Steve Bevins says, just remember, Patriots, I've studied this stuff. 60 plus years, plenty of food under those mansions, and other supplies do not attack stores or warehouses waiting for you. So in other words, just come on if you're going to come. Thank you, Steve. I'm glad that you're a true patriot willing to stand. Gosh, we got some good people in here. Petrish Ann. Just pardon me for a minute. I'm just trying to call everybody out.
Go ahead.
Linda Carter, JKR Stratch family, Jane, ancient drummer, American Mindbender again. Stony Stone, my dear brother up in Illinois. Grateful Grandma Patty, Jeff B, fight and defend, fight and defend. That's you, Scarecrow and Jeff B. All right, people. I just wanted to give y'all people a good shout out because we appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
We really do. And better yet, we appreciate you for staying.
Yep.
You know, we've already dropped like 4 or 5 people, but that's okay. We've still got, you know, you guys in here, and that's what matters.
I got a question for the people that are in the chat. Is there anybody in chat that wants to have a garden but can't get seeds?
Yeah, I meant to bring that up, and I forgot about that.
If you're looking to have a garden this year and you can't get seeds, get a hold of me or get a hold of Bobby, and Bobby will get a hold of me, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
That's very kind of you, Fighting the Fin, because I know right now they're blocking selling seeds
All over,
everywhere. Yeah,
all over.
Yeah, they don't want you growing a garden. Now, I don't know about tomato plants and stuff like that. I'm going to take a little trip to Home Depot tomorrow, and I'm going to see if they're selling tomato plants.
Yeah, they are down here. I got my garden going, so I've been going there daily. But now I've been picking up seeds. So,
but there's some things that you have to, you don't have to, but you should grow from seed. You know,
rosewood,
and things like cucumbers and
right.
Any kind of tuber like that. They usually grow from a seed. But anyway. Let's talk about the American Revolution.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a civil war?
Hang on one sec. Let me grab a pen here. I think it's going to be both with the way they're pushing everything right now. But I'll read something here in a second. Rosewood.
The problem with the Civil War in America, as far as I'm concerned, is that it's not going to be a civil war if there is one. And I'm not saying there is going to be one, but I'm saying if there were to be an uprising between the classes or the people, whatever you want to call it, just like it was back in the old days. But we're not going to be able to have the same type of war now that we had then.
No.
This is going to be literally urban warfare.
Yep.
It's going to be you protect your home and your neighbors, and they protect you, and y'all stand together. It's not going to be like you have armies and people are going to go out there on some big battlefield somewhere and have a big battle.
Yep.
It's going to be in your front yard, your backyard, your streets, your neighborhoods, your towns, your cities, and all across your state.
Yeah.
I don't care where you live. If there is an uprising, it will be in every city and town across the country, and it will not be divided north to south, east to west.
No.
It's going to be like you lit a firecracker full of sparkles, and it's just going to blow up all over the country.
And that's why I keep saying during every podcast, remember who did this to us. Don't fight your neighbor. Don't fight your family. Remember who did this to us. They're the ones that need to feel the pain. Couple things real quick. Mindbender, I'll see if I can find some. Rosewood seeds. Yeah, Invader Zim, you're right. America is finally going to find out why great-grandma and great-grandpa saved up their corn, canned sweet yams, where they came up with their homemade recipes and saved their bacon grease. Absolutely.
That's right. Amen.
You know what? That's another thing. Unfortunately, I'm not set up for it down here. I was up in New England. If anybody in chat knows how to can, do a little video. So people know. A lot of people don't know how to can anymore. I mean, that's an art, a dying art.
Sure it is.
I used to up in New England, but I don't have the gear anymore to do it, unfortunately.
Got to have you a pressure cooker. Mariel, anything happens to POTUS, God forbid, we will have to do this ourselves with whatever weapons we can use. And then you had a Scarecrow right behind him say, if something bad happens to our president, that will start the revolution.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah. And you know what? They were just hinting about that the other day, yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. That he comes down with some medical disorder where he won't be able to be president anymore. And the reason why they were talking that route, because they know if he was executed, that the people would rise up. So they figured maybe if they did some sort of medical situation, that they could sweet talk the people, because we're so dumbed down as it is.
And that's the sad part of all of this, John, is that we're so dumbed down. I was talking to you today about, we have a few people in here on our live streams who are woke.
Yep.
But there's so many people out there in America, be you Democrat or Republican, you just are not aware.
Yeah.
It's not something you're involved in, and you don't know anything about it except for what you see when you're walking past a TV set somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be in CNN or MSNBC, and all you're going to get is the garbage.
Yeah, the Communist News Network.
Yeah.
Hello, Miss Mary.
Hey, Miss Mary. Hey, Jane.
Has anybody in the chat heard of Rex 84?
That's a new one on me. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Rex 84 is something that everybody should sit down and read. And this was done a while ago. And this is how long you'll see how long they've been preparing for this, what's occurring now. Basically, Rex 84 is short for Readiness Exercise 1984. And it talks about when they closed down the military bases throughout the United States and secretly turned them in to FEMA camps, and how much money was spent and how much military hardware. I mean, all the groups, IRS, Department of Oceanography. I mean, why do they need 5 million rounds of ammunition? Why do they need assault weapons? When you read this, I'll tell you what, it'll freak you out. It talks about to suspend the Constitution, declare martial law, assign military commanders to take over state and local governments, and detain large number of American citizens determined by the government to be national security threats. That's all of us that are here now.
And that brings us to the FEMA camps.
Yep. If you're Christian, if you're pro-life, if you're pro-American, you are an enemy of the state.
Or a registered Republican.
Or registered Republican.
Wow.
So you guys, I'll tell you, it's a long article, but please look it up and you'll see how much money they have spent on military hardware. It is unbelievable. And who's got it? That's the scary part. Who's got it? I mean, the IRS has a small army within itself.
Sure.
They literally do. It says, I'm just kind of going through short little bits here. It says, once the detainees have been processed into the internment camps, the manual explains how they will be indoctrinated with a particular focus on coercing political descendants into expressing support for U.S. policies.
Yep. They want to take the dissidents, the loudest voices of all, and they want to convert them.
I'll see you there.
They want to convert them into a voice for themselves against ourselves. See, they think they can brainwash us with some kind of MK Ultra brainwashing techniques or whatever it is they plan to use. But as for me, I don't intend to go to a FEMA camp.
No.
They're not going to take me to a FEMA camp. I've got over 1,000 rounds right here in my little room, and I guarantee you, I probably will die. But I won't go to a FEMA camp. Period. And I believe that all of this to be true, John. I believe it to be true. It's acceptable as truth because anything the government wants to do or people in power want to do, they can do because they have the money. You know, Eisenhower warned us about the military industrial complex back in 1958.
Yep.
Or 1962, I'm sorry. But still, he knew then, before Kennedy, he knew then, before Johnson and Nixon and all these others, he knew back then that the military industrial complex was a bad thing and that it could become even a worser thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think on national television he told us beware of the military industrial complex?
Yeah. You know, this stuff, and I mean, it's kind of funny now to me. It's almost comical if it wasn't so sad. I've been saying this stuff for 25 years, and people used to tell me that I was nuts. Nobody would believe me. Nobody would listen. And here it is. We're here now. We're in the middle of it. Just so you know, this is from Forbes magazine, October 20th, 2017. These are some branches of the government that bought weapons. The Small Business Administration and the Department of Veteran Affairs have purchased thousands of Glock handguns. The Health Service Agency purchased millions of dollars worth of Glock handguns, equipment with silencers. The U.S. Geological Survey, which is the Weather Bureau, purchased millions of dollars worth of Winchester Black Shadow shotguns with large bulk ammunition orders, in addition to Glock handguns. Even the Department of Education purchased millions of dollars worth of Glock handguns, shotguns, and body armor.
What?
And that's out of Forbes magazine, 2017.
So now you're telling me that every aspect of the government
branch
is loaded to the gills.
Every branch.
So they're going to make all of them agents and then to go out and kill people. Why else would they need all the shotguns and all the rounds and all the Glocks if they're not going to use them to fight? And who are they going to fight against?
It says 67 non-military federal U.S. agencies spent $1.50 billion purchasing guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment.
Why does the Department of Education need weapons?
Why does the Department of Oceanography?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have loaded every department in the government. They have militarized every department in the government is what they've actually done.
Yeah. The DHS purchased 7,000 automatic rifles and 2,700 armored vehicles, along with bulletproof huts. They're the ones, your guard post.
Oh, and that's our Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Oh, but see, they gotta be prepared. Now wait a minute. They got all that stuff to prepare against an internal attack. But wait a minute. Where are all those vehicles at? Where's all that equipment at? How soon can that equipment be sent to any location nationwide, wherever an outbreak might happen?
Underground locations.
There you go.
Underground locations. Anything close to a railroad track. Any old military base. Listen, if it's an old military base and there's razor wire on the fence and it's close to a railroad track, very good chance that's going to be your FEMA camp.
Sure.
Because that's one of the things that it either has to be close to a highway or a railroad track.
Yeah, I believe there were 164. I may be wrong on that number. It was something like that. Walmart's shut down 2 years ago, and every single one of them, they were all super Walmarts, by the way, and they shut down because of plumbing problems. All of them across the nation. But then they never reopened, and now when you ride by those Walmarts, you see 8 or 10 foot cyclone fences with barbed wire, concertina wire at the top, actually. I mean, so what are they doing? They've turned our Walmarts into FEMA camps. They're turning everything that we have into FEMA camps right in front of our eyes, and none of us are saying a thing.
Yeah. That's why I say, if you guys see something, please say something. Grab a picture of it. Let us know. Seriously. So, one other thing that was brought up, I was telling Bobby about, and this person wrote, one other worrying development was the appearance of U.S. military C-130 cargo planes apparently spraying mosquitoes over various Florida cities at an altitude of less than 50 meters. Pest control is hardly a military duty. These events immediately reminding me of the U.S. military spraying bacterial and other pathogens over many parts of the U.S. in various CIA-related experiments on the domestic population.
50 meters.
50 meters.
It seems to me they could have got a better, the only reason they use the C-130, the only reason they use that is because it carries so much cargo.
Wait, yeah.
Well, the Galaxy, the only thing bigger than that is the Galaxy C-5A. And the Galaxy C-5A is a lot bigger than the C-130. But they couldn't fly that plane at 50 meters. I mean, come on, it was the largest cargo plane in the world, and there's no way you can fly sustainable at 50 meters. But it's a jet. And now we have the C-130, which is a prop plane. And everybody knows that a prop plane can fly lower for a sustainable period of time than a jet can. But here's the thing. What are they spraying? A C-130 cargo ship is huge. They could put thousands and thousands of gallons of any chemical in that airplane and spray it anywhere they want to. What are they spraying?
Yeah. Well, that's the question.
Is it the same things that's up in the chemtrails? No, I doubt it. I think this low-flying spray is going to have quicker reactions. We're going to see before too long what the outcome is of this. I think we're just going to start. Well, you already said all the produce and stuff like that's rotting on the vine. This may not be nothing but a way to push that to the forefront and make things even worse than they are. Well, why else would they be flying at 50 meters? That's just beyond me.
Yeah. Let me, funny, we're talking about this. I haven't even had a chance to read this part. This is all part of the Rex 84. This is why you guys got to read it. Funny, we're just talking about food. It said, the author wrote, this extremist is designed to enforce our submission, rendering us totally dependent on Big Brother government or face the obvious, starvation and extermination. He continued, what could possibly have instigated such an order unless the government is preparing for an all-out war against the American people? What possible excuse during peacetime would a democratic government have for the initiation of a program to seize all food, water, and food storage facilities of the nation?
That means they can come to your house and take your food and water.
Yeah, well, they could, but they'll go after the stores and the warehouses.
Sure.
And we'll run out.
Chef B said, haven't seen crop dusters in weeks. Over the weekend, they were all over in a grid pattern, which makes sense.
It's crazy.
Fly grid, everything gets covered.
It's crazy.
Good evening, Liberty Smith. Glad you're here.
So that's people, take the time and look this up yourself. It'll blow your mind. It'll help you better understand what's going on. I read this back in '84. I was actually tipped off by somebody that was in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I read it and it blew my mind. And here it is. Everything that they talked about back then is happening now.
So let's think about it for a minute. So now we really do have FEMA camps and military compounds.
Yes, we do.
And it's not going to be for your average American Joe. It's going to be for the American patriot.
Absolutely. Well, that's what they were even saying in here. That was the funny part, is they were talking about Janet Napolitano claimed that this was to prepare for mass influx of immigrants in the United States that would require the shelter and processing of large numbers of people. But that ain't the case.
That ain't the case. If that was the case, why has the U.S. ordered 1,000 guillotines from China and 10,000 blades from Mexico? And that was a year ago. So they have them now. Why do they need guillotines in America? I guess it's cheaper than gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liberty Smith says they're trying to block the sun with chemical aerosol injections that disperse widely. Very good there, Liberty.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. One more thing on this real quick, and that'll be it for that. This was actually from U.S. Major General Curry, was quoted as stating, "We have local police backed up by the state's National Guard, backed up by the Department of Defense. So in addition to all these forces, why does Homeland Security need its own private army? Why does the SSA and NOAA and other government agencies need to create their own civil security forces armed with hollow-nosed bullets?"
You tell me, brother.
Exactly.
You tell me. Why? Why does the EPA or any of these groups need an army? So what? They're all individual little armies? Or are they controlled by one unit somewhere?
I don't know. Hang on.
I don't know either, and it makes me sick to my stomach because people, that's the kind of stuff that happens that we can't uncover. I mean, it's really difficult to get that truth on that kind of stuff.
Jeff B., I'll look that up. Gotta take a little road trip.
All right, yeah, take that road trip. Let's see. Do you have anything else, John? You're going to jump on right quick?
No, go ahead. I know you had some things that you wanted to talk about.
Just a few little topics, things I looked at today. But Trump said today, he says, I'm going to instruct my administration to halt funding to the World Health Organization.
Yes.
And that's probably the best thing he can do for an organization that has mishandled everything that they've ever touched, especially this COVID-19. So now he's walking away from who? He says, I'm not giving you no more money. Well, while you're at it, Donald Trump, let's stop giving money to the UN as well. Let's bring our troops home. Let's secure our borders. But that can't happen. You know why, John? You know why that can't happen? Because we've got New York and Connecticut and Rhode Island, California, Oregon, and Washington building their own little country within our own country right now.
Yep.
What's your thought on that?
Yeah, that's I'm glad I'm out of that state. I feel bad for people that live in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. Everybody's following what Cuomo's doing, and he's saying flat out that he doesn't want anybody going back to work. Today, he said if you have a mask, if you wear a mask all the time, you can go back to work. But the other day, he had released that nobody was going back to work until an approved vaccination was out, and he was talking 12 to 18 months. So everybody was going to stay shut down until 12 to 18 months.
Wow. Oh, Steve Bevins said that Janet Reno, or whoever we were talking about, I forget now.
Yeah.
But he said robbed Arizona's general fund, now teaching Antifa in a San Francisco college.
Unbelievable.
Man.
You know, the thing that worries me about, I'm so happy that Trump defunded the WHO, but the thing that does concern me is the comment that was made by the WHO the other day when they told Trump to shut up, otherwise there'd be more body bags.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
I am very concerned that we're going to have a second round of the Winnie the Pooh flu, and it's going to be even worse because they are pissed that Trump is cutting them out. I mean, even the Democrats. You got I'll be nice, Pelosi, who said she's going to fight Trump on that. She's not going to let him get away with it. The Democrats are going to try to block him from cutting off aid to the WHO. But I do worry that the WHO is going to come out with a second dose of it, and it's going to be bad. But I will say this. At that time, if a second round comes out and people don't rise up, then you get what you deserve, because that's proof flat out that they are behind that and can control it.
Well, they're already talking. I read today where China is already gearing up for a second round.
Yeah.
You know, they got to do that if there is one or not. You know, just so America, when they get ready to do their second round, everybody will believe it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't believe it now. I sure as hell ain't going to believe it the second time. But they're pushing the envelope. They think they've got everybody under their thumb. So they're going to keep pushing. And I keep saying that. They are going to push until we push back. And I will say this. It's one thing I learned when I was in the academy. They taught us when I was in the academy. They said, when you put your hands on somebody, you make it known that you're serious. So if the time comes for this, you put your hand on somebody, you drop them hard. Absolutely no mercy.
You can't have.
We won't go into detail on how, but you make a point known that you're not playing with them.
Up to and into include DF. I won't say that word, but y'all figure it out what DF means. Has something to do with force.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about some of this other stuff, because I can see you and me, you're getting all upset about it, and I know I am too. I can't stand it. I'm just so sick of it.
I'm just getting warmed up, babe.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm going to get you to jump ship here for a minute. And I want to talk about your favorite friend.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah, Billy Boy and his wife, Melinda, are involved financially in creating the COVID-19 virus vaccine. And now that they have manufactured the virus to begin with, it's a worldwide problem. So Gates now has 7 factories working on a vaccine. Imagine that, 7 factories. Gates is already telling the world that they can never be safe without a vaccine. The vaccine is critical because until everyone is vaccinated, the world will never be normal again.
Yep.
How about that? So now Bill Gates, just because he's the 9th richest person in the world and is corrupt and evil and mean, and he applies himself and his wife apply themselves and their money to the corruption of the world. And that's what they're doing, is corrupting the world. The vaccine, according to Gates, is for everyone. Low, middle, and high classes of all people around the world. Gates is a cabal operative. He should be hanged for releasing the COVID-19 virus in the very beginning. And in my opinion, he's the one that released it in the first place.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't stand Bill Gates. He's as evil as they come, and he's got too much money. You know what they say?
Yeah.
Money corrupts.
Phil C. He wrote, there was no vaccination for the Spanish flu. Hey, Phil C., if you get a minute, look up who was working on the Spanish flu. Coincidental? The guy's last name was Gates.
Really?
Yeah. You can look it up. And they injected the military with that.
Oh, man, they have injected the military with so much stuff, and nothing surprises me.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to watch Gates' interviews lately. He's smug as smug can be. He really is. He thinks he's got this one. He thinks that he's got the people down on their knees. He's going to be in for a rude awakening. But the 5G, they're pushing that. Or the vaccinations, I mean, they're pushing that. And we know that it pertains to the 5G, and these damn Russians, this Russian collusion, these damn Russians are burning our towers down to the ground.
Right.
And they hit some more actually this weekend over in the UK and the Netherlands.
Oh yeah, they're burning those towers, brother. Those people. That's one thing I've always said about those Europeans. They're not scared.
No.
You had the French underground, and all these other people helping us during World War II. They were brave. Those people ain't afraid to fight, and they're fed up. But see, they've got right now what's coming to us. And they're standing up. I hope people in America stand up as well when this crap is rolled out. And that's what it is, people. They're already talking about 6G. Come on. The
people are going to stand up or they're going to starve. There's two things that are coming up, guys. I feel myself. You can look into it yourself. Next is the food crisis. And then after that is going to be the bank runs.
Yep.
And then you're done. You have no food. You have no money.
What are you going to do?
History repeats itself.
Okay. You know how people want to scream and holler about racism in America? I don't hear anybody screaming and hollering about the racism in China.
Yeah.
Why is that, I wonder? Okay, so here's where we are, people. People today who claim that racism is a hated thing anywhere in the world. Every word and every action by President Trump and those of us who support him are racist. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, we are racist. Yet these same social justice warriors who condemn us as racist at best are saying nothing about the racist Chinese and their lockdown on the black people in the country.
Yeah.
Now, I want to tell you ahead of time, these black people are Muslims. Okay? Why aren't the Muslims across the world rising up in defense of these people? Because there are about 4,500 Africans or of African descent. Most of these blacks live and work in the district known as Little Africa. 4,500 blacks, regardless of any circumstances or how long the blacks have been in China, must quarantine for 14 days, even if they have already been through quarantine. African residents in the city of Guangzhou, China, will be monitored, get this, 24/7 by putting a tracking device that will notify those with the guns if the exterior doors of their homes are opened at any time. Where's the outrage now for these black people? Where's the outrage? They're locking them in their homes. They're putting motion detectors on their doors. So if the doors are open, they come and they kill them.
Yeah, they kill them.
Where is the outrage, people? Where is the outrage? No, we're not going to have the outrage for those blacks in China because they're too far away. We got too many people here in America wanting reparations. They want money for something that their great grandparents went through that you and I and they had nothing to do with. But yet they want the money for it. Reparations. These people in China don't want reparations. They just want to be able to breathe for another day. So black folks in America, white folks, whatever you are, don't think for a minute that you're downtrodden and run over. Go to China. Be a black man in China and see the hell that you'll live through.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get wound up on that, but that's just the way I feel about it. I'm so sick of this reparation crap.
One other thing in reference to the vaccinations.
Yeah.
You can look it up. JP Morgan Chase is dumping huge amounts of money into funding the vaccinations with Bill Gates. Huge.
Sure.
Real quick, Bobby, this goes back to the Rex 84. I just came across this.
Sure.
This was back in 2008. It was a leaked internal memo from Tom Fitzpatrick, Citibank's chief technical strategist. Contained ominous predictions for America's civil society after the vicious financial crisis. What are we in now? He wrote, "The world is not going back to normal after the magnitude of what they have done."
Really? Phil, I don't know what's going on, brother. Everything looks good on my end.
Yeah, I see a couple of people that said they've had to reboot.
Yeah, that's crazy. But then again, when you talk about 5G, you talk about the coronavirus and Bill Gates and all these people, I'm sure that we hit those algorithms pretty heavy most of the time. But then again, we're all going away. YouTube is going to be gone. Don't think for a minute, people, you're going to jump over to DLive and have another big stream and do what you're doing here. It's not going to happen. We get rid of YouTube, they're coming after DLive and Zoom and everything else.
They're definitely coming after everybody on YouTube. The masses are awake and they know it and they're scared. And they got to shut us down. They got to cut off our communication. Too many towers are being burned. Too many people are standing up to these politicians. You know, I'll say it now, people. If you don't see us anymore, it's game on. It's game on. Do not let these people live a comfortable life. Everybody, please, if you can. I know in my area, I got no problem getting up in some Democrat's grill or some elite's grill and making their life a living hell. We need to do that. Remember who did this to us. We didn't ask for
Never forget.
That's right. We begged, we pleaded, we voted, and they shoved it up our backsides. It's time to return the favor.
That's right. And if we don't return the favor, they're going to run slap dab right over the top of us. And then we're going to be the ones in FEMA camps or dead in the street or in body bags stacked high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to, so you need to get your head right, get it right or get it wrong, but you need to get your head something because you're either going to fight or you're going to die. And I hate to say that. I do. I'm not calling for war.
Yeah, they're not the ones that are going to end up dying are us. The ones that, the extremists, the ones that are getting off the plantation, as I say.
There you go.
Yeah, Sam brought up a good point. Love the Michigan Patriots today. That was cool up there.
Tell me about that. I must have missed that.
Oh, they did everybody drove their cars into the city around the Capitol.
I saw that.
Shut it down. Yeah. Yeah.
All because of that stupid governor they got up there.
Yeah, the one that said that garden seeds, garden implements, and there was one I left out. Baby seats, infant seats in the cars are non-essential and can't be bought. And then she just came out this weekend and said American flags are non-essential and can't be bought.
Yeah. I have a question for these women. Oh, I guess the hospital must have a car seat for them to take the baby home in. I don't know. But yeah, so baby car seats are always essential.
No.
One of the most essential things that we have are taking car seats for our children.
Not for her. Listen, go on their Facebook page. All right. You got to see what people are writing in. They got 2 kids. And every photo is them eating dinner and it's takeout. And people are like, good way to raise your kids.
Pardon me.
But they really think that they're all that. They really do. They look down on us like we're shit. They're sitting there. I'm not on Twitter or any of those, but I can get in. I can get in to see what's going on. But they're sitting there flaunting, eating out dinner, takeout every night. And there's people in the United States that are freaking hungry and can't even grow a garden because of that. I'll cut it off there.
All right. Well, these state and local shutdowns, and these stay-at-home orders, they're the responsibility of the state governors, as per Trump. He said that today. He said these shutdowns and everything and martial law and all that is at the discretion of the governors. But guidance from the White House should not be ignored. And in the end, it's going to be a decision by President Trump to reopen the government. But he can't because he said he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He said it's up to the governors to reopen these states.
And
This borders on mutiny as state governors try to be relevant and pushes anti-American ideas to the forefront. Governors need to remember that our president can override any and all decisions made by state and local governments.
yeah.
So let's hope and pray that Trump keeps his finger on the pulse
Well,
of what's going on there.
my feeling on that, Bobby, is Trump's doing it intentionally. He's letting these governors sink.
Hang themselves.
I've said it before. What is his favorite saying? He's given the power back to the people. They're not
Amen.
after me, they're after you. So
Right.
once again, people, Trump is sitting back. I mean, there's things that he's doing lately that I don't like. I'm not all for him like I was, but he's playing these people like puppets. It's
Sure.
come to the point where it is up to us to physically go and drag these scumbags out of the capitals. We own them. They're ours. You no longer work here. You're fired. Yeah, Bill C. You see that? No motorized vehicles allowed in the water, but sailboats and canoes are okay.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
No motorized vehicles.
Yes.
I wonder how you're supposed to get from shore out far enough to where you can catch the wind and sail.
Exactly.
I guess you're going to use oars.
It's a game. It's a game. It really is.
It's a lesson for treason. That's right. Bring the sheriffs with you, Sam. I agree.
You know what? I have got absolutely, and I was one. I got absolutely no faith in law enforcement, and I have absolutely no faith in the system at this point. None. I don't trust a one of them. Not a one of them.
Well, I'll tell you, it goes from that kind of stuff to this is what gets me fighting to defend is here we've been talking about all these things, and they all matter or should matter to every American, everything we've talked about. But then you have to stop and you have to look at what's really happening daily. And I want to talk about photos that have been secretly taken by staff at Detroit Sinai Grace Hospital. Now, this is Detroit.
Yep.
Michigan. Imagine that. Same governor.
Oh, another liberal Democrat state.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane. I'm sorry, Bob. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying, Jane, that's correct.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Great guys. People, thank you guys for commenting. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. But anyway, these photos secretly reduced by the staff at Detroit Sinai Grace Hospital in Detroit. To say the least, they're totally disturbing. The photos and the videos show very clearly that the hospital staff is stacking bodies, one on top of the other, in refrigeration units in the hospital parking lot. Bodies are being stacked like cords of wood. This is shameful to say the least. Refrigeration units used for the morgues for overflow is in itself a bad thing. It's how these bodies are simply thrown into these units without any dignity or respect for the dead. One ER worker stated bodies are being doubled and triple stacked on the floor because workers are too puny and they're weaklings and they can't lift the bodies up to put them on the shelves provided inside the refrigeration units. So these people can't even lift them up and put them on the shelves so they can lay there on their own little thing with a little dignity. They just stack them in the floor because these hospital workers are too puny to pick them up. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've moved dead bodies before.
Oh, I have too.
And dead weight is
Dead weight.
just that, people. It's
why
dead weight.
That's why they call it dead weight.
Yeah. That person's alive. You might be able to pick them up and sling them all around, but you let them die, and it's going to be difficult to move that body.
It is incredible how heavy a person gets when they're deceased.
That's exactly right.
I've got to pick up many. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's nothing I ever enjoyed, but sorry to say I've on that same end.
Mariel, that was Michigan.
You're right, Invader Zim.
Yeah.
Mr. President, us veterans have never been relieved of our sworn oaths, and make no mistake, we know how to conquer a continent. You have the power to deputize us, and how fast justice delivered coast to coast. You're right. He could deputize every single one of us, but he won't. It won't happen. Be a
beautiful thing. We could end this so quick, and the rest would die tired running.
I want to talk a little bit, John, if you don't have anything else,
go ahead.
About 5G, man. This stuff is still eating my lunch. But before I get to that, I want to talk about Dwight D. Eisenhower again. You know, Eisenhower feared the military-industrial complex. He knew it would destroy America, and now it's happening. The military-industrial complex has revealed itself in the 5G projects meant to prevent populations from awakening to the truth of the power imbalance enjoyed by the military-industrial complex as they irradiate, I want to get that word right, irradiate us all without constraint from every corner of the earth and from above our heads. They're doing it with chemtrails. They're doing it with all kinds of stuff. The stated plan and the words in 5G literature is to blanket every inch of the earth with no escape from the horrors awaiting hundreds of thousands or millions worldwide. Now, I'm going to jump off of this topic for a minute. What did Elon Musk say the other day?
Yeah, Elon Musk. He's the one that's behind that. 40,000 satellites to watch every square inch of the earth.
40,000 satellites to watch every square inch of the earth. People, y'all think we're feeding you a line of who? I'm going to tell you, this is happening. These people have more money than they've got brains. And here Elon Musk, along with Bill and Melinda Gates, but mainly Elon Musk in this situation, he's got the rocket technology, let's say, to put satellites into orbit. He has that technology. He's proven that his SpaceX can reach orbit and maybe even beyond. So, yeah, he wants to put 40,000 satellites. We've already got 20,000. Good Lord. But he wants to do away with those and put 40,000. And the thing about it is when they start this 5G plan and all that kind of stuff, the trees will have to go away because trees block 5G.
Yep.
It'll be the same for birds and insects who are a vital part of our food chain. They're going to have to go away. Any symbolism or remnants of a sane, calm, balanced life will be wiped out by 5G. And we are complicit in our own destruction as well as the wanton destruction of all life on earth if we go along with these 5G ideas and plans. Greed, fear, and stupidity have brought us to this point, complemented by insanity, laziness, complacency, and unconsciousness. 5G demonstrates we are closing in for the kill. The question is, will you choose to play along with this 5G zombie apocalypse or not? Only you know for sure. And you've got to make a decision. Are you going to back these people? Are you going to stand with them in the time of need? Are you going to stand for your family and our country and our patriots? Because I'm telling you, 5G is still being implemented across America, but Generation 6 is on its way already. Can you believe that? 5G is not even fully implemented, and now they're talking about 6G.
Yeah.
They can already kill us. They can fry our minds. But I'll tell you why they're doing this. It's for spying on us. Why do we need, I got to ask you people this, why do we need smart refrigerators, smart microwaves and toasters and washing machines and dry? Why do we have to communicate with our appliances? I mean, where in the world did that come from as a need?
Yeah.
I have never needed to talk to my refrigerator. You know, I've just never come up with that issue before. And be honest with you, I don't want my refrigerator talking back to me. Last thing I want is a bunch of 5G robots running around my house that I can't control.
Right.
So no, but it's just like taking the vaccine, John. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
People just need to put their foot down and say, that's it. That's it.
I'm not going to do it.
You know, if you think about it, all right, like I say, the food shortage is coming up next. People remember that the federal government bought millions of pounds of freeze-dried food years back.
Yeah.
And then they also have that massive seed bank that's under the mountain there.
Yeah, up on the mountain under the ice.
Yep. So you put those two things together, and then you listen to these elites speak, and the last thing that they want to happen anywhere in the world is a nuclear attack because it'll ruin their plans.
Look, they didn't put that container of something like 500 million different seeds
Yep.
up there for cold storage to be used sometime in the future. They weren't looking for they say, oh, we did this in case of a nuclear apocalypse. Well, guess what? Just like you said, nuclear apocalypse is going to kill the soil.
Exactly.
Okay, it's not going to grow. That's not what it's for. That's a lie.
Yep.
From the very beginning, they lied to us what those seeds were for. It's to repopulate the earth with food for the elite.
Yep.
For those who remain.
Yeah, and Scarecrow said the rural areas will become barren, and that's what they want. They want everybody stacked up like cordwood in the cities.
Okay, Forgotten Father and Son, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and when I get off of here, I'll go check yours out, brother. Normally, I don't let people promote their own channel, but that's fine, not a problem. Yeah, we'll give you a try. Everybody, go check out the Forgotten Son and Father and see what he's got going. But in the future, if you'd like to promote your channel, please contact one of my mods. And let them post it if you don't mind. I appreciate that. But anyway, you just have to have some kind of rule, some kind of order on a channel. You can't just, go willy-nilly. If I did, I'd have people coming from all over YouTube just to promote their channel on another venue. So you're okay. Get in touch with Liberty Smith. He's in here. I'm sure he can help you out, and he'll take care of you, brother. But let's get back to it, John.
Yeah, I mean, so as we've been saying, we know the two things that have to be top priority is the vaccination and 5G.
Yep. And those are the things that we should worry about the most right now.
The rest of the stuff is all a distraction, except with the food. They're controlling that, so you'll come crawling to them because they'll have plenty of it. You want food? You take the needle.
Yep, that's it. Yep, you want to get fed, you got to take the vaccine.
Yep, and then they own you.
And by taking the vaccine, you're microchipped or whatever it is kind of technology they're going to use, and then you're under their control from then on.
Yep.
I'm not taking it. I'm not taking the vaccine.
And
period.
It's not just, people need to realize it's not just taking the vaccine. A lot of us are not gonna, but there's people that will be intimidated by them and they'll take it. So we have to take it from another angle.
Amen.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves you no other option.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So they have to hit the ground, all of them.
It's like the old song said, hit the road of running, boys. You know, turn them guns around.
Absolutely.
You know, point them in the direction they need to go.
Yep.
And I there again, I'm not calling for war, but I'm telling everybody to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Because it's coming. The last thing I'd ever want to see in this country is another war, especially on our own soil, in our towns, in our cities, and our neighborhoods. But that's what the Democrats have done to us.
Yes.
That's where they've brought us. That's how far they took us down. And now we're somewhere in the middle of a pit, of an abyss, and we got to come out of this one way or the other. Now, which way is it going to be?
Yeah.
Now, Trump keeps saying we'll look better at the other side of this. Well, will we really? What are we going to look like on the other side of this? I say we're going to look totally different than we are right now or we were a month ago.
Yeah.
We are not going to be the same America that we were before this happened.
I agree. It's not going to be the same. It's not. There's no.
And the problem is we don't know what it's going to be. Are we going to be Russia?
No.
Is Trump going to be done away with and individual states now control their people within their own states?
That's a possibility. You may see some succeeding going on.
That was what I was wondering, because they're getting awful brave and awful callous with their orders.
Right, because you got California, Washington, and Oregon.
All right, that's the West Coast.
That are following California's orders. And then you've got New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island that are following Cuomo's orders.
Exactly. I'll throw Virginia in that mix.
Well, yeah.
Well, sort of. But yeah, but there again, there you have both coasts now.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're already saying they're not going to abide by anything. They're going to stay locked down for 18 months.
Well, you know what? It's up to the people again. It's up to the people. There's ways to handle that, and it's coming to it. You know, like you just said, I don't want war. I'm not looking for war, but if it's war they want, it's a war they're going to get.
Amen. I'm prepared. I mean, I did my 6 years in the military. I know what this country means. This country means the world to me. Not only to me, but to my family. And I'm very proud to say that I'm an American. I look back on history and I see all of the forefathers, you know, how they struggled and how they worked and how they died and fought for our freedoms, you know. And here we are willy-nilly as a society, throwing our rights around. Oh, take this, take that. We can't allow that.
No, we're pissing it away.
Yeah, and these people died.
Yeah.
For this, to save us, to give us something better. And we're too stupid to see these demon rats and these socialist, communist pieces of garbage in our nation, killing our babies, trying to destroy our society. You know, they're trying to tear down religion and God has to disappear. Come on, people, open your eyes, wake up.
Well, I mean, a perfect example was the last couple of weekends. They don't want churches open, but abortion clinics are.
Exactly.
Think about that. Think about that.
Oh, well, the WWE in Florida is more important than churches.
Well, we know there's a little inside going on with that.
Yeah, it's a little money changing hands there.
Absolutely, there's money changing hands.
But you brought it up, so I want to talk about churches across America are deemed non-essential activities, and many churchgoers are being fined or arrested.
Yep.
In Greenville, Mississippi, churchgoers sit in their cars listening to their pastor's sermon on the radio with windows rolled up, but they're fined $500 each for doing the one thing hated by the leftist tyrants and the Satanists, and that is to worship God. But it's okay to gather outside restaurants and fast food joints and forget social distancing guidelines when you're doing that. Let's face it, God is non-essential in America anymore. And that's where all of our problems come from. All of our problems come from the fact that God has been taken out of America.
Yeah.
God was taken out of our schools. The pledge was removed.
Listen, it's all by
come
design.
on.
It's all by design. We know that. This has been coming for a long, long time, people.
Decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, we know it. It's been coming a long time, but it's here. So now, what do we do? I know what I want to do.
Well, I don't know, but I'm going to go down in a flash of fire, with or without you, people. I'm going to go. I will not comply. I'm going to borrow from the Borg on Star Trek. I will not comply.
Yeah.
And if enough of us don't comply, well, we'll all see each other in a FEMA camp somewhere one day, maybe, if we're not dead.
No, there will be no FEMA camps for this boy.
Me either. They'll have to shoot me in the head.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not going down.
So, it's the time of sitting on the fence is over. It's past. You need to decide what side you're going to be on. It's not fear mongering or anything. I'm just saying people need to be ready. Really, you need to think about your food supplies because it's coming. It really is coming. Take the time. Everybody's home. Take the time to learn new things. Look stuff up. Learn how to can. Learn how to grow your own herbs. Learn how to grow your own vegetables. Even a tiny little area. You can produce some stuff, especially if you're a single person. All you need is one plant of a tomato, one plant of bean, or whatever. It doesn't take an enormous amount.
That's right.
Because we're all going to get hungry.
Because I'll tell you, you plant you a big garden, you're going to be giving away for vegetables.
Yeah.
There ain't no way a person can eat out of a big garden without giving some of the stuff away or selling it. So I recommend above ground beds. Build you a bed about 8 foot long, about 2 or 3 foot deep, and maybe 6 or 8 inches deep.
Yeah.
And plant your stuff in there and grow them above ground.
Yeah. Jane, yes. Grateful grandma, get a dehydrator. Absolutely. Good point. And Scarecrow, get some chickens too. Absolutely. Yeah. And seal a meal, vacuum sealer if you can, or just deal with the canning. We're coming to the point, everybody, where code enforcement and all their laws can stick it right up their backsides, because soon the laws aren't going to matter at all.
Yeah, because the Constitution will be void at that time.
It's pretty close to now. Hey, listen, everybody take a moment and look what the heck is happening in Hawaii. Holy crap.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at what they're doing to the people in Hawaii. They are actually completely locking them down from Friday night until Sunday night. Yeah. Hawaii testing martial law and law enforcement pushing citizens around. Absolutely.
That's right, Invader Zim.
Absolutely. That's coming. Listen, everything they're doing.
A bathtub will work, Phil C. You just got to make sure you leave the drain plug open.
Yeah. They're trying different things in different areas. They're not going to go to some redneck town that's full of guns and try to push this crap. They're going to go to an area where they don't have a lot of guns. And ironically, they had that situation, that shooting house fire a while back where the cops got shot. What a coinkydink.
Right. Imagine that.
Yeah. What perfect timing for that to happen.
Yeah. Hawaii's going to be the one who's, everybody's looking at Virginia. Oh, Virginia's going to be the one to institute martial law. Nah, it's going to be Hawaii. It's going to be Hawaii, and there's nothing that's going to be done about it, and that it will spread from there.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I figured it was going to be Texas or Virginia or something first, but Hawaii, man, they're setting the precedence right there. They really.
Well, it's the smallest state with the fewest amount of people to control, so why not start there?
And they're not armed like they were, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Think about that.
Yeah, I was Invader Zim. I remember Waco. You're right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was another perfect example. They couldn't have waited till he went out in the morning and jogged. He jogged every morning. You know, they could have picked him up. No, they wanted everybody dead in that place. That was intentional. Just like Ruby Ridge. Same thing. Same damn thing. You know, I was in contact with somebody that was close to the Ruby Ridge situation. And he even admitted he left. He even admitted he goes, that was a slaughter.
Sure it was.
They executed her. They wanted to make a point that they were all that they were in charge. So they blasted Randy Weaver's wife. For Christ's sake, she was holding her infant child in her arms when they shot her in the freaking head.
Yeah. And they killed the dog first.
Yeah, they killed the dog, and then they killed the son. The son ran down there to retrieve the dog. The kid turned around and was running back to the cabin, and they shot him in the back. There's your federal government, people. You trust them now?
That's who you can trust, yes, sir. And I watched the Waco thing, and I'm going to tell you, David Koresh, he may have thought he was Jesus, and he may have been a lunatic. He may have had some people following him that were lunatics. And they may have had guns. But had those people ever used those guns? Had they ever accosted anyone? Had they ever shot anyone?
No. I'm sorry, Bobby. Invader Zim. I got to look that up. I just got information on that. He said, did Pelosi put anti-gun language in the stimulus bill? That's the word that I'm getting. Yes. Yep. Yes. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. And yet she is fighting against Trump about defunding the World Health Organization. Pelosi is right up top as public enemy number one in my book. There's a few of them, but she is definitely right up at the top. No mercy on that girl. No mercy.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff B says, come to think of it, he knows a couple of chatters in Hawaii, and they haven't been around for a week or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, they're clamping down very hard on Hawaii to see what the outcome is.
Yes, you're right, Scarecrow. Pelosi is evil to the core, along with every other Democrat. And I'm going to say this one more time. I say it all the time, but I've got to reiterate it. There's only one reason that I'm not a Democrat, and that is because I don't believe in abortion. Period. And I don't believe in their lies and their con and their deceit. The Democrat Party has turned into nothing but a Satanist agenda lie. That's all they do. They don't care about America. They don't care about Americans. They don't care about the flag. They don't care about this country. And they certainly don't care about our president. So we have evil all around us. And it's time that people started looking at it like that. It's good versus evil. It is not Republican and Democrat anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Bobby.
It's good versus evil. It's that plain.
Yep. Absolutely. That is true.
What God will you serve? I choose to serve the one living God.
Yeah. Miss Mary, he did sue. Ruby Ridge was a tragedy. Randy Weaver sued and won. It was hush money. They hushed up him and his two daughters to never talk about the case.
Yeah, you're right, Mariel. Yeah, they had one search warrant at Waco. That's all they had.
Yeah. And they
tried, Sam. If you support killing babies, you are my enemy. Period.
Yeah.
Period. God bless our children.
It's game time, people. It really is.
Muriel's saying that Hillary's behind those murders. Said sniper testified he saw one shot go into the building, but pretended he didn't see the woman in the doorway. Hillary Clinton is behind these murders. Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Exactly. Not surprised. I mean, think about it, guys. We talked about this before. Ruby Ridge. All right. They spent $2.9 million of taxpayer money to go after one guy and two shotguns. Think about that. $2.9 million. Also, remember who was behind that, who was the shot caller on Ruby Ridge, was none other than William Barr.
My goodness. Isn't it a small world?
Yeah, Bill C. The authorities told Weaver to saw down a shotgun. That's exactly what it was over. A sawed-off shotgun.
Huh. Man, it just gets sicker by the minute when you stop and you look back and you think about all these things that's transpired, and they just want to be washed under the rug. But we need to bring those topics up, John. We need to bring them up to remind people.
Yep.
This is what they've been doing for so long.
Well, and that's the problem, is the rug is being pulled up and they're being exposed and they're getting scared because the people are pissed and they know it.
And that makes them dangerous.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going through now.
Because we know for a fact that most of these Democrats could care less if the American people live or die. It's, they're above us. I know, and I'll go ahead and say it. And if they don't like it, they can sue me. But Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, all of them people, all those demon rats, and part of the Republicans, I would say, they could care less about us. And they would think nothing if they could say on live TV, kill these people. And a bunch of people get killed. It'd be no sweat off their nose. It wouldn't matter to them.
No. Listen, Pelosi proves it every day. The money that was in the budget, the last budget that passed for the coronavirus budget, more money is going to the illegals than it's going to people in the United States. They prove it every day. Miss Mary, yeah, that's a tactic that they used all the time.
Yeah.
That he was a white supremacist.
Well, so is Trump. So are we.
We all are. So what? Call me what you want. I don't give a rat's ass. That's a tactic that they use. So
yeah, you're right, Danielle. They do all this while they sit in their mansions and let the world go by. They think that they're special.
Remember who did this to us. Remember the big mansions, the big yachts, the fancy cars. Remember. What did the yellow vests do over there when they went down the streets? All the fancy cars, the Jags, the Rolls, they lit them all on fire.
They burn them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Burn them to the ground. Remember who did this to us, people. I keep saying it. The time is coming.
But John, it's sort of funny, not ha-ha funny, but funny. You could knock this down a few levels. And we have the same thing going on at the city level, county, state, and as we do in the federal level. The exact same corruption is going on all the way from the bottom all the way to the top.
But why?
We allow it.
Absolutely.
We allow it.
Think about it. I've always said that things started really going to shit when we had latchkey kids.
Yep.
When the government taxed us so bad that both parents had to leave the home to work, and the government said, "Oh, leave your kids with us. We'll raise them." And It's been downhill at a rapid pace ever since.
Yep. Yeah, it's all been a plan from the very beginning, John.
Yep.
There's nothing new under the sun. Everything that we're going through today has been preordained and pre-prophesied. There's nothing we can do to change it either. All we can do, we're along for the ride, and let's just make our ride as smooth as possible.
It's time to fight.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're along for the ride, or we're going to stop and row our own boat.
And think about it, people. The way things are now, like where I am, it hasn't been bad yet. But I'm sure there's people in the chat that are having hard times in their areas. This is just the beginning. If they're allowed to continue, we ain't seen half of what's coming yet.
I guarantee you, if John and I didn't come back live again until sometime in May, what we would be saying then would make this video look like a romper room.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse.
Well,
before it gets better.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to get a lot worse. They're not going to stop. They have an agenda and they don't care about you, any of us. They're not going to stop until we stop them. That's it. That's the bottom line, people. That's why I say, hopefully people don't think I'm a warmonger or whatever. I'm telling it like it is. Absolutely no mercy on any of these people. None whatsoever when the time comes, and we're very close. We're very close. At some point, Bobby, you'll probably be doing the shows by yourself.
At some point, I probably won't be doing the show at all.
Yeah, well, we're getting to that point.
Yeah.
And it's going to be absolutely zero mercy on these people.
And it has to be that way.
Yeah.
Because they will have no mercy on you.
Exactly. Exactly. Marielle, we haven't been stupid. It's the frog in the pot scenario. Over the years, they have dumbed down people, not so much they've dumbed down the people some, but they've got everybody comfortable. Eat your fast food, watch your TV. The old frog in the pot, as we say. If you take a frog and put them in a pot and you turn the water up, warm the water up slowly, they'll get comfortable. If you take that frog and throw him in a boiling pot, he'll jump right back out. Well, they've been warming us up for years. And here we are. We're at the boiling point.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's some good stuff coming out of the chat. There's so much coming out, it's hard to read it all. But you're right, Jeff. It is getting worse daily, and the stories are moving so fast, it's hard to keep up with them. It really is. I spend hours every day on doing research, and I'll research something and keep going, and then I'll realize, well, heck, that thing I researched first is already old news, and throw it away and keep going.
Exactly.
Because it keeps coming.
Exactly.
And you want to give the latest. You don't want to give yesterday's news.
No.
And so that's what we're trying to do here, is bring you the latest, and as well as our opinions and our commentary on a lot of different topics.
And everything that I say, people, you can look up. It's no BS. It's not pulling it out of the sky, anything. It's you can find it. You dig, you can find it.
Don't worry about it, 12B, Georgia. I ain't got my money yet either. My niece, now get this, I got a niece, and she got hers.
Yeah.
And I figured, well, they'll send them out alphabetically or something, but no. Her last name starts with an S, and she got hers. But she's the only person I've heard of that's got one.
I don't know. I know they said the IRS today was having a problem. So
yeah.
One thing about to everybody in the chat, if you're not aware, this $1,200 that you're all getting is not free money.
It'll be on your tax return.
They're coming up. They're going to catch up with you next year at the end of the year with your tax return. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, you probably know more people than I do, 12B. And Les Liberty Smith. Trump needs to activate the militia and arrest and detain those criminals yesterday. And I agree completely. Said FEMA, Invader Zim says, FEMA couldn't even help the flood victims in the state of Louisiana last time around. FEMA's a joke. I was looking today and I saw an article where we've got guys, people here in Georgia still living in those same trailers, those same FEMA trailers. They haven't even found a place to live yet. And how many years ago was that?
That contain high doses of what the hell was in those trailers? I'm trying to remember now.
It wasn't asbestos, but it was some.
No, I can't remember. Oh, dang it! I'll have to look it back up. But yeah, Liberty Smith. If you download the form that was part of the bill, on the very, very bottom is where they say that, yes, you have to write that in your taxes, and they're coming back for it. So it's not free money. Now think about this, people. All right. Here's an example of how much the government gives a damn about you. I'm not getting one. I don't exist. I haven't for a long time. But everybody's happy about their $1,200 check. But ask yourself, for all the hell that everybody's been going through, is it really worth $1,200?
No, it ain't.
Formaldehyde, 12B, Georgia. Yes, formaldehyde in FEMA trailers.
That's what it is. You're right.
Yeah. So think about that. Everybody just gave up their life for $1,200 freaking dollars.
Yeah.
And that's the shitty part of this.
Oh, but there's a second phase coming.
Oh, yes. Actually, I'll have to look up the thing. I don't have it here right here. They're looking at doing $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
16 and older. Can you imagine a 16-year-old kid with $2,000 a month going, holy crap, I'm never going to have to work again?
Well, let me put it to you like this. When they start giving that kind of money out to 16-year-olds and above, cigarettes are going to be $12. A gallon of milk is going to be $15. You know, you go buy a pair of jeans that now cost you $35. They'll cost you $135. You know, I mean, they give us more money. They're just going to raise the prices. You know that. That's how it works.
We're drinking the Kool-Aid, Invader? Is that what you said?
No, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid reference to Jonestown.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but we're not drinking the Kool-Aid. We're actually just putting it under a microscope, I guess you would say. Yeah, roll your own cigarettes, only 67 cents a pack. Oh, John, do you have a whole lot more left? Do you have anything else you want to put out?
Nope, we're good for now.
Yeah, I think I am too, and we did good. We've gone an hour and 40 minutes. That's pretty good. Not keeping ourselves to an hour, but we're not going to be one of these channels that comes out here and stays on for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours just to get the views. If we don't have content to bring you, it's time for us to go home. And so, everybody, that's what we're going to do. It's 9:08. I want to thank you for being here. Appreciate all the chat and all the participation. John, as always, thank you, Fight and Defend, my brother, for being here. And we're going to keep this thing going, like I said, until this thing ends or till they end us. And don't be surprised, people, if you come on YouTube one day and I'm gone.
Yep.
Don't be the least bit surprised. Because I am not censoring nothing I say. I am not going to say code words. If I want to say 5G, I'll say 5G. If I want to say pedophilia and pedophiles and pedivores like Hillary Clinton, I'll say it.
Yep.
So if I disappear, you'll know why. Because I am true to who I am.
Sadly, I think it's coming for all of them.
I think it is. I think it's coming to all of us.
They're taking down the big ones right now, slowly. They're defunding them, demonetizing them, and taking them down. So it's coming. Yep.
So people hang in there as long as you can. I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for your participation. John, I'm going to say good night to you and to people in the chat, and I'll be talking to you in a couple of days. Remember, everybody, Friday night at 8 p.m., John and I, maybe so. Let's do this at 7:30. I like that 7:30 going till 9. Is that okay with you, John?
Absolutely.
All right, 7:30 Friday night. We'll be back, and we'll have a lot more information. Hopefully, it won't be redundant. Maybe we'll have some good news. That'd be a great thing. So
let's hope.
I'm going to get. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's pray. So everybody pray for everybody else that's in the chat and everybody that you know. Let's all stay safe, and let's all do what we can to help one another.
And watch out for your neighbors, folks, especially if they're elderly.
That's right.
And again, if anybody is looking to do a garden and can't get seeds, let me know.
Sounds good. If you can't get John, contact me and I'll get with John.
Yeah, because I know a lot of areas they can't even get garden seeds. So
okay. All right, Jose, good night. And Miss Mary, thank you so much. And thank you, gentlemen. Said Jane. Thank you, Miss Jane. 12B Georgia Empire Post. Thank you, brother. Glad you're all here. I can't call you all out, but you know who you are, and I'm grateful. So we're going to say good night, and we'll be back Friday night at 7:30.
Good night, everybody.
See you then. Good night.